today as we get to meet Farmer Mackenzie and, of course, her adorable adopted calves, Latte, Mocha, and Pumpkin Spice. Today's chat wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the American Dairy Association Mideast and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you to both of those organizations for making today possible. First, this live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program. So for anyone that's new to Discover Dairy and the Adopt a Cow program, it is a free online resource that covers Common Core standards in math, reading, and science, all while using dairy concepts to teach those lessons. Those resources can be found at discoverdairy.com, and we'll go ahead and put that link in the chat in both YouTube and Facebook for you, so you have access to that link. We'd also love for you to join the fun Adopt a Cow Fund next year. So if you're interested in joining again, or you stumbled upon this live chat and you're interested in joining for the first time, we welcome you to register for the program. Registration opens starting May 1st. So since we're not quite there yet, feel free to go to discoverdairy.com/adopt, ADOPT. And on there is a short form where you can submit your email address to get added to our email list. So on May 1st, you'll get that notification letting you know that registration is open. Next, as everyone continues to join us live today, you will see that that chat feature is enabled. Please feel free to keep using that chat feature, comment, ask questions throughout the tour, but do please keep in mind we want to make sure those questions and comments are related to the live chat and that they're school appropriate. And before we jump over to Farmer Mackenzie, we're just going to see who all is joining us today. And I can see lots of our classrooms are joining us today. So we're going to see if we can find a little shout out from some of our classes. So we have we've got some homeschoolers that are joining us. Hello, good morning or good afternoon. We've got some 5th graders in Ohio. We've got Mrs. Giggler's 3rd grade class who adopted Mocha. Welcome. Good afternoon. Mrs. Snyder's 3rd grade class. Hey, I like your last name, Mrs. Snyder. That's my last name too. We've got some other 3rd graders from Triad. Welcome. We've got some 1st graders from Marysville, Ohio. Good afternoon. Miss Rainey's 1st grade class in Mason County, West Virginia. Hello. Welcome. Some 2nd graders in Bedford, Ohio, Mrs. Morocco's class. My goodness, there are lots of you on with us today. Some 2nd graders from Cincinnati and Athens. We'll jump down a little bit further. South Range 2nd grade. Mrs. Brock's 1st grade class says hello from Holland, Ohio. And let's jump down a little bit further yet here. Mrs. Bridges' 3rd grade class says hello. Elmhurst, Toledo, Ohio. And we'll pick one more here. Our 3rd graders from Columbus, Ohio. And they say, we love Latte. And believe me, we love Latte too. So thank you, all of you, for joining us today. We are so excited to have you all on board. And without further ado, I am excited to introduce you to Farmer Mackenzie. Hey, Farmer Mackenzie, how are you doing today?
Hey, Brittany, I'm good. How are you?
I am doing really well. We're excited to have you today and get to chat with you, see your farm a little bit, and of course, get to see our cute calves. So I'll let you take it away and go ahead and introduce yourself and your farm.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for jumping on here today. My name is Mackenzie Dean, and I am from Four Pines Farm in Sugar Creek, Ohio. Our dairy farm has been in the family for over 5 generations. I've got 2 younger brothers, so that's making us the 6th generation. So it's been continued on for well over 100 years. So it's really exciting that our family gets to continue on this tradition. But I have been recently joining the farm here after going to college and stuff like that and being all over the place with different jobs, but I've found that I really enjoy being a part of this farm and trying my best to learn along with you guys. So I've got Latte, Mocha, and Pumpkin Spice here behind me. We actually just had a Heifer Moving day, which kind of means they change classrooms. So they're changing barns as they get older. So they all got to be entered into this barn on Monday. So they're getting acclimated to these little headlocks and the freestall open pens that they've got with them. And they're also eating TMR. So you can kind of see them chomping on that right now.
Oh my goodness. I cannot believe how big they look right now. And that TMR looks delicious. Do you mind explaining a little bit what is in that TMR, Farmer Mackenzie?
Sure. TMR stands for total mixed rations. It's got a whole bunch of ingredients in it. It's got corn silage, grass silage, haylage, but it's also got a bunch of minerals in it like soybean meal, cornmeal. We add some sugars into it too, but a lot of the corn that's in it provides sugars for their bodies. So to pick through and find their favorite spots with some of those good pieces of corn, but there's a lot of nutrients inside of it. So it helps with their ruminants and their growing. Um, as you can see, they've put on a lot of weight when they were first born. They were around 100 pounds. I think we clocked them in at 550 as weighing right now. So they've put on a lot of weight. They have grown really tall too. They're about 4.5 feet tall. This is kind of where we start to put on a little bit more weight now that this TMR is in their diet. So they're really healthy, actually. They look great.
Yeah. Wow. So you said 550 pounds probably for all three of them, mocha, latte, and pumpkin spice.
Yeah, 550 to 570. I think latte right here is doing really good. So I'm sorry, that's pumpkin. Mocha's behind her. Yeah. Pumpkin, she's a little bit bigger than the three of them. So
she's probably closer to
it
that
can
570.
vary.
Yeah. So we think they're probably between 550 and 570. And any idea like how many inches approximately? Are they getting close to that like 4 feet tall, like 48 inches? I'm trying to remember what they were on the last update right now, but I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, compared to me, I'd say they're about 4.5 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah. So they've got another foot on me to reach me at 5'5",
right?
but which they will probably be that at full grown, which is 2 years old. So right now we're at 8 months old. So we've got a few more years till they're full grown, which they're usually about to my shoulder height. So they'll be close to 5 feet.
Yeah, so that's actually a good question because I know that gets asked a lot of when is a cow considered full grown. So you said around 2 years old and they'll be close to your shoulder height, which is incredible. What has to happen for a calf to turn from a calf to a heifer to a cow? What are kind of like significant things that happen in their life that makes that transition from one title to the next?
Sure. Cows age a lot quicker than we as humans do. So as a calf, they're drinking milk, they're in a hutch. We're watching their health really closely to make sure that they are growing well and not getting sick. A heifer is a female cow, so that's kind of that difference there. But when she becomes a cow is when she has her first baby, and that will happen again around 2 years old.
Gotcha.
She's got about 4 or 5 months in this barn right now. They'll make one more transition, but we've got 4 or 5 months until they will be pregnant. And then again, they've got 9 months to carry that baby. So that'll put them at 2 years old.
Wow. So 2 years old, they get to be a grown up and join that milking herd and have their first baby and then start producing milk. So that's pretty cool. You were talking a little bit about yourself and your farm in the beginning. I don't know if we caught it or not. How many cows do you have on the farm total?
So we are milking around 1,600 cows. We have close to the same amount of heifers and calves. So everything that we're raising is hoping to have a baby and produce milk at some point. So we, once the cows have their first baby, they will join the milking herd, as we call it. They'll transfer to a brand new milking parlor, and that's where they will be milked 3 times a day. And that's where we can gather their milk and get it out to the stores to you guys.
Yeah. And speaking of that, so talking about the milking process a little bit. So you said they get milked 3 times a day. Now, how long is that actual milking process for the cow? And then, what does it feel like a little bit? And maybe just talk about that process a little.
So it might sound like a lot that we milk 3 times a day, but by the time that the cow enters the milking parlor, the milking process itself only takes 5 to 7 minutes. So she'll enter the parlor, walk into the stall, and Our workers will make sure that the udder and teats are very clean. We don't want any dirt or debris to get into the milking system. So make sure that she's clean, apply the milker to her, and I can kind of show you with my finger, but the teat will enter the milker and it's kind of just a slow pulsating movement. It's silicone inside, it's really soft. It doesn't hurt them. As a cow, if they don't give their milk, if they're not milked, it kind of hurts them. So it's really good that we are milking them as much as we do.
Yeah.
So like I said, it only takes 5 to 7 minutes.
Wow.
Once the cow stops giving as much milk as she has, the milker will recognize that and just fall right off. It doesn't hurt. We don't have to pull off the milkers by hand. It's all automatic.
That's really cool. So it sounds like 5 to 7 minutes, 3 times a day. So at max, they're working 21 minutes of the day. And then the rest of the time, they're just relaxing, eating, sleeping, right? And just living a really amazing life on your farm. Their food comes to them, their beds are cleaned for them. It sounds pretty incredible.
Yeah, they have full access to food all day long. The way we feed, we distribute their silage when they're in the milking parlor. So nothing's in that group, but the feed is being delivered, and as soon as they're finished milking, the feed will be right there. And I've watched them many times before. They get out of the parlor and they run to the pen, find their food, to get a nice big drink of water, and actually lay down in the sand beds we bed with. So.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like they know where their food is. They know who's taking care of them, that's for sure. So, and they know the process. Cows love routine, right? They like to just do the same thing day in and day out.
That's true. Yep.
Awesome. Well, we have some really good questions coming in. So the one question was, how many calves are born on your farm each year?
Oh, each year. I'm gonna say how many in a day. So we've got, I don't know, around 3 to 5 babies born every day. There's different fluctuations where we might have less or we might have more, but that's kind of like the average that we have every day. So
wow. And do you get to be part of that, like taking care of that calf process, or are there other employees on the farm that help out with that?
there are other employees on the farm that monitor the birthing process. We have a maternity pen where they're separated from the rest of their herd when they're close to their due date, so we can make sure that everything's okay. 9 times out of 10, we don't have to assist in their deliveries. They have their babies on their own. But if ever there would be complications, we have people that are walking that pen routinely just to make sure that everything's okay. But what I assist in the birthing process is once that baby is born, we identify if it's a boy, if it's a girl, if maybe the cow had twins. Then I'll decide who gets to kind of stay on the farm. We don't keep any bulls on our farm, so we sell those. And we actually breed to an Angus cow. We actually don't keep those. So I kind of decide who gets to stay. As you can see, these yellow tags are kind of just like their name, but it's a number that we give them just to identify them when they're out in the herd, so we can pick them out easily if she's going to show it. So I give them that yellow ear tag. And then there's also a white ear tag that I give them, which is called an RFID tag. It's kind of a magnet that we use in the milking parlor system to identify her when she's milking. And it shows us the history of her milkings, how much milk she gave. If we had to treat her with medicine or anything like that, we can all plug that into our computer systems and really monitor their health.
Wow. So that tag sounds very crucial to the way you guys manage the cows and are able to just keep track of them and making sure they're healthy and everything else. And that actually brings up a good question. We were wondering, how do you know when a cow is healthy or if they're sick, and how do you take care of them if they do get sick?
So we can tell a lot when a cow is sick by whether or not she's eating or drinking. As a baby, if they're not drinking that milk that we're giving them twice a day, we kind of can see if something's wrong. if they have respiratory issues like a cough or breathing difficulties, we can give them medicine for that. And that's why we keep them separated in a hutch. They don't go directly into a group pen that young. So we can make sure that they're separated and staying healthy as possible. As an older cow, same thing. If they're not eating their food, their milk production goes down. So we can monitor that with that RFID tag. Like I said, you can see the history of the milk that she's given in the past. And if that has declined, you can usually tell if a cow is sick. So we can separate those cows that are sick and put them in our hospital pen and make sure that we can get them back to normal.
That sounds like a really great process. And so you guys pretty much try to take care of most of it on your own, right? As you try to monitor as much as you can on your own. I guess if need be, you can call a veterinarian for some things, but in general, you guys try to take care of most of it yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. That's something that I kind of handle on the baby end of it. We have a herdsman that watches the health of our herd, the milking herd. But yeah, we use veterinarians all the time. If there's something we can't figure out or we need extra help, we'll call them in and they'll be ready for us anytime. But if a cow is sick and she is treated with medicine, we cannot milk her in our milking parlor. No antibiotics or anything go into our milk system. So if she is treated, like I said, we separate her, kind of give her one-on-one attention until she's better and then can be milked.
Wow. Lots of eyes on these ladies, making sure everything is perfectly where it needs to be. The milk is clean. Everyone can be rest assured that everything coming out of your farm and many, many other dairy farms, that milk is always safe because there's always a withholding process, right? And so it sounds like you guys are doing a really great job with that. And you mentioned that your milk goes and gets sent off to a co-op. And like shipped off and then obviously gets processed. Do you know what company your milk is? Like if someone were to go to the grocery store, what they could buy that it would potentially be coming from your farm?
Not off the top of my head. We sell to Turner Dairy in Pennsylvania. I forget
Yeah.
what city that is.
It's
So
near
Turner
Pittsburgh.
Dairy Turner Dairy over there in Pennsylvania. But our first milk will go to Middlefield, Ohio, and that is a cheese plant. So I don't know if I've never really seen it, especially in my area. But first it goes to a cheese plant. If that cheese plant is too full, then it will go over there to Turner Dairy and be processed.
That is really cool. I didn't even know that, Farmer Mackenzie. And Chuck Turner is actually on our board for our foundation that puts on the Adopt a Cow program. So they have fantastic products. If anyone has Turner Dairy milk or anything like that in their grocery stores, definitely check it out because that's pretty cool. That could be coming from Farmer Mackenzie's farm. Nice. We had some questions on a little bit more on, do they have any treats or anything like that that they like to eat or something sweet that they get? Or is it pretty much just always their TMR that they eat?
Pretty much always their TMR. To get them to kind of be in front of the camera there at the beginning, we did put down grain. And I think that's a sweet treat that they really enjoy.
Yeah.
So we don't do any byproducts or anything extra like that. I kind of wish we did. It would be cool to use some of that because I've heard of many other farms using byproducts from other plants in their area, and it can all be recycled back into the cow, so we don't have any waste.
Yeah, that's very cool. And you're right, there are a lot of farms that do that. Maybe someday you'll get to add that into your ration too, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, the sounds like they get their delicious TMR, which sounds good. And we appreciate you putting down some grain for them. That way they were a little bit more attentive for us today. They're very driven by food, right?
Yeah, they're pretty curious right now, actually.
They are.
Got
They
their
are.
bellies full. They're like, what are you guys doing in my pen?
So along those lines then as well, they were wondering what they drink now and how much of it do they drink?
They're just drinking water now. Cows love to drink water. A full-grown cow, I think, can drink a bathtub full of water. So they've got free access to that over here in the watering troughs. There's about 3 more of these throughout the whole entire pen. So that's filled with water all the time. they eat a bunch and then they go directly to the water and make sure that they're staying hydrated.
They love their water and they love their food and they love their sleep. That's about it. We had a question from Sarah. They're wondering who is the oldest of the three of them and who's the youngest, do you know?
Yeah, so we can tell that by their numbers. The smallest number is the oldest. I know it's kind of backwards, which that would be Latte over here, who has lost her ear tags. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to stick them back in, but she got too old and too rambunctious, and I couldn't catch her to put her back in. So it would go Latte, Pumpkin, and then Mocha is the youngest.
Aw. Now, and actually, you just mentioned all three of their names. We did have someone ask, why give them all coffee names? Where did that inspiration come from?
Well, if you follow me on Facebook, which I'm trying to be a little bit more active on, I did a poll at the start of the program and asked some of the followers. I just gave 3 different categories and let them kind of vote on what they wanted. So they picked the coffee category, and that's kind of the name we went with this
Where they
year.
came
But
from. So it was actually some
maybe
teacher
give me a like and
inspiration.
follow. Yeah, give me a like and follow, and I'll do another Q&A before the program next year, and we can pick out the names together. So it's actually really hard to now. So need some help.
Yeah, we would absolutely love to help you name them. So that sounds like a plan. We will go find Farmer Mackenzie on Facebook and we will follow you, and then hopefully we can help pick those names for next year, which would be exciting. We had someone wondering if you've ever shown any cows at any 4-H shows or anything.
I did when I was younger. Yeah, I think I took 3 cows to 4-H.
3 cows?
Just thing to try when we were younger. It's not something our family really does, but there are a lot of people that think we should do it. I like taking care of them instead of showing them.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. I mean, you're doing a really great job of it. Clearly, they're happy and they love hanging out with you. So it sounds like this is exactly where you belong. They're doing pretty good here. We had a question from someone, from Miss Sally Jones, wondering how long do cows live? Maybe like what's kind of the longest, and then what's kind of the average of how long a cow can live?
So on our farm, we kind of shoot for 5 to 6 lactations, which means a cow will have 5 or 6 babies. So that's kind of our average. I know that we have had some 10-year-old cows on our farm before, but she's not here with us anymore. But that 5 or 6 is kind of our average here on the farm. I know it can vary from farm to farm, but that's what we do here. It's kind of their highest production in milk.
Sure.
And so the longest that we have them here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mocha is just giving me a hard time.
Now, I have an interesting question that came in, and I don't think I've ever seen this question come through. So if you don't know the answer, it's okay. But they were wondering how many calories or carbs does a cow consume by eating, like the amount of food they eat? Is that ever something you've ever calculated before?
That's not something that I know off the top of my head. So one of the many professions we work with here on our farm is a nutritionist for our cows. So I could very well ask him the calorie intake for a cow. Yeah. But I did just look at our feeders sheet yesterday. And in this barn, there's about 80 head of cow. And so he feeds them around 3,000 pounds of feed. So I did a little math, and each one of these cows is eating about 37 pounds just on their own, which I think is a lot of feed.
That is they're only, I'm kind of speechless right now. 37 pounds of feed and they're only 8 months old. I feel like that is a lot of food.
It is, yep. And this is a good time. Like I said, we introduced that TMR, and it really helps them grow, fill out in their bellies. They fill out sideways as they keep growing, height-wise too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now, we had another question come in from Xavier. They're wondering if your cows ever get a bath.
No. We, like I said, have many cows on our farm, close to 3,000 altogether. They're kind of self-cleaning. So in our barns, these younger calves are bedded with sawdust and straw in the winter. I think you might have seen in the hutches when these calves were young. But up at the milking parlor, we bed with sand. So it's a very cool bed to lay on, but it's also very clean. It keeps all the dirt off of them. They do get dirty sometimes. That's just life. They are an animal, but no, they don't usually get baths. I'm getting one right now on my hands.
Right?
So.
Yeah. We had another good question come in asking about sleep in general. So they were just wondering, like, how much do they sleep a day? Where do they sleep? Do they sleep standing up, laying down? What's their sleep like?
I can turn the camera over here to some that are laying down. I don't know the hours a cow spends sleeping. I think it might be 12 to 14 total. So they do sleep a lot of the time, or at least rest. You can see that these ones are laying down. They are healthy and doing well because they're chewing their cud. You can see that on the video there.
Right. It
It's a
looks
good
like
thing that
they're kind of
they are
chewing.
cud.
Yeah, it kind of looks like they're chewing chewing gum or something right now. But so you said chewing
Yep, yep.
cud. What exactly does that mean when a cow is chewing cud?
So a cow has one full stomach, but there's 4 compartments inside of it. And that last compartment, they kind of just burp and regurgitate some of the feed that they eat, and they rechew it and redigest it. So that's what cud is. I know it kind of
Interesting.
sounds kind of gross, but it's a sign of a healthy cow.
Right. Hey, I bet that's when you know they're happy and content. So that sounds pretty good. Um, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and ask one more question, and then I've got the wrap up question here. We're getting around our half hour already. You guys have all asked amazing questions. Thank you so much for being so attentive and just asking great questions. There are a lot here yet in the feed. But the one of them, we've noticed that all of your cows, at least, are black and white. So the question was, are all dairy cows black and white, or are there other color variations? Do you have any other color variations on your farm? So maybe just talk about breeds of cows a little bit.
So on our farm, we just have Holsteins, which is a type of dairy cow. They can be black and white, they can be red and white. But the Holsteins is what we have here. We do a breeding to Angus. So I said there, some of the birth assistants that I have, we get Angus sometimes. That can be an all black cow.
Okay.
There are many different types of cows. The brown ones.
The brown ones.
Mocha, she looks black, but to me here in the light, she's a little bit brown. So there's different variations here, even on our farm. And
Yeah.
each cow has a different set of spots. There's no 2 cows that are the same.
Oh, that's really cool. So every cow is unique, kind of like a snowflake. Every snowflake is unique, or our fingerprints are all unique. So that's pretty cool. And you have all black and white ones, but to clarify, they can be red and white, or they can be brown, like you mentioned, like a brown Swiss or a Jersey or things like that. And that's just kind of like a different breed, like as if you've got like a border collie and a blue heeler or something, right? For a dog, it's just they're all dogs. They're just different breeds. So same thing with cows. They're all cows, dairy cows, but they're just different breeds of cows. Did I explain that correctly, Farmer Mackenzie?
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. And so as we wrap up here, first of all, thank you for letting us see our girls just kind of hang out in the pen for the last half hour. They've really just been chilling with us. They were nibbling on you a little bit, giving you a little bit of a bath. And it looks like they are enjoying lunch right now. And I'm sure many folks on the call here might have just gotten back from lunch, or maybe they're even heading to lunch. But we've loved getting to watch them just be cows for a half hour. And this is it, right? This is what they do. They hang out, they relax, they sleep, they eat, which is a very relaxing life. But they look very calm. And Mackenzie, obviously, that's a big part of your doing as being a really great farmer. And so my last question for you is, what is your why? Why have you chosen to be a dairy farmer? You know, this is a family business you mentioned, and you came back to the farm. Why did you do that? And what's your passion and reason behind being a dairy farmer?
So I think my why will always be family. I've loved growing up in this lifestyle, the way we were raised,
Yeah.
kind of slow and relaxed. I mean, yeah, we have busy seasons, but we're a pretty close family. So that will always be my number one why. But as I've been a part of this program and touched some kids' lives and gotten all of these letters and handwritten pictures and colorings that I've gotten, it's for the kids. I have been a part of education for a few years, and this just allows me to take my lifestyle, what I'm learning day to day, and turn it back to the kids so they can learn about cows and
Yeah.
animals, where their dairy products come from, and how just we do things around here. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. So let me just do a quick plug for everyone that you mentioned. Thank you for any of you who did send Farmer Mackenzie letters. Our host farms in this program, whether Farmer Mackenzie was your host farm or another farm, they absolutely love when they get letters and seeing their excitement and love hearing that you're learning stuff. So thank you, teachers and students, for writing those awesome letters. It's been a lot of fun seeing them every now and then. I get to see a couple of them too. So they're fun to look at and read. And thank you, Farmer Mackenzie, for doing this program. Your passion for the industry is real. It's obvious. Your cows are happy and healthy, and we love that. And you're not only an amazing farmer, but also just an amazing host farmer for this program. And we loved following Mocha and Latte and Pumpkin Spice this year. We loved following calves last year. We look forward to hopefully following some calves again next year with you. But it's just been such a blessing working with you in this program, and thank you so much for doing this and opening your farm and kind of letting us take this virtual step onto your farm and get to see how our girls live their life. So thank you so much.
just one more thing, Brittany, and everyone
Yeah.
listening. If you did have me as a host farmer last year,
Mhm.
who was it? Dolly, Apple, Maisie, and Star.
Oh, yes.
So all four of those cows are gonna have their first baby in October. So
Oh,
hopefully everyone listened. Can follow me on Facebook at Four Pines Farm
yeah.
LTD.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do a little update when they have their first babies.
Oh, I love that.
You can
Oh,
watch
that's so
these ones have their first babies too. So
yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And I'm glad you mentioned that the farm, everything is going to be on the farm page. So Four Pines Farm LTD is where they can follow
yeah,
you,
it'll
and
be
they're
on the
gonna.
farm Facebook page too. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So we'll get to see the update from last year's cabs if you were part of the program last year, and it sounds like we might get
I
an
just want to
update.
give a little shout out to,
Yeah.
sorry, Brittany.
No, you're good. Sorry.
Um, Miss Artsner's class, I just wanted to say thank you for all the letters. I've been really glad to get to know you guys. I am very thankful for everyone else that has sent me letters and pictures. I try to respond online as much as possible, but that really just, it makes me happy. It warms my heart, and I'm glad that we're able to do this all together.
Oh, awesome. I love that. Yes, I love little shout outs. Thank you all for showing Farmer Mackenzie so much love. We really appreciate you guys loving this program and being in the program. So thank you so much. Mackenzie, is there anything else that you wanted to share before we jump off today?
No, that's it. Thank you guys all so much
Awesome.
for participating.
Alrighty, awesome. Thank you, Farmer Mackenzie, and thank you one more time to all of you joining us today. We really look forward to hopefully having you in the program again next year. Don't forget, May 1st is when registration will open again. You will get an email from us if you are already in the program, letting you know when it's open. And if not, go to discoverdairy.com/adopt to get your name on that notification list so you don't miss when registration opens. And we will start the program again in October of 2023. Alrighty, everybody. We look forward to seeing you again next year. Take care. Bye.